Sorry, Gen now is for Gen Y. Gen Y is also called Gen now. They want things to happen now. The now generation, Gen Y. Gen Z is called the Gen X, Gen Tech, or Gen V. Okay. So you need to take a course on Gen Z after this. Oh, Ultraman Taro. Mana Ultraman Taro kita? Oh. Okay. Let's move on. Which of the following feature does not belong to Gen Z? Yeah. No, Gen Y share things. Gen Z, they create things. They're a generation that, user generate, they create and then they share, of course. But, that is their feature. So they're very technology reliant. They're hyper aware of what's happening around them. They're very entrepreneurial. Okay, let's see who's leading. HMN. Mana HMN? Oh, okay. So HMN, 3 questions, she's the fastest. 2 more questions. Okay, their preferred learning styles. Okay, this is very obvious. Gen Z, they are a very visual generation. They process information through visual. So yeah, this is so far the best from the audience. See, very easy for me to get all the exhibitors to come here, just by playing Kahoot. Okay, so it seems that we've got like a winner. So HMN, you need to get the last question right to earn this Syarahan Perdana. Okay, last question. Remember, which of the following statement is untrue about Gen Z? See, earlier we got 116. The other 6 says kalau buat jawab pun bukan mendapat nombor 1. So they decided not to end the race. So let's see now. So Gen Z, they're not optimists. They are what we call realists. Realists, R-E-A-L-I-S-T. I'm going to play a short video on that. Okay, and the winner is... Oh, Tanya. Can we have her to be on the stage? You know why she won? She said she always play Kahoot with her students. Oh. You see, with Kahoot, I can end the session, and now let's see which professors we have to send for a workshop on Gen Z. So I can now save the result and download and see who got all reds, and we can send them to, I'm not going to reveal that. I will do that with Dr. Hayati. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to play a short video. I've got two, but I'm going to just play one because of time. Hopefully my line is okay.
Let's talk about the next generation, and this one's really interesting for me. Millennial generation ended at about 2000. Generation Z is the next generation coming up, and I think one that is going to yet continue to alter the way we do retail. If we talk about millennials being diverse, this generation is even more diverse. We talk about millennials being internet savvy, this generation is even more internet savvy. They are self-taught. They believe that knowledge is just a click away. They can get to any kind of information on the internet in seconds and answer a question. This has unbelievably changed the way that they interact with brands and with retailers. They are hyper-connected, meaning that they are constantly in touch with their friends and family and people even across the world. At the same time, they're hyper-local. They're really concerned about what's happening around them in their neighborhood, in their town, in their country. That they are very, very deeply involved in that as well. They've never known a world without a smartphone. And this is a really profound leap from the millennials who we said had never known the world without the internet. So we need to figure out new ways to talk to them. This generation is supremely confident. They've been told by their parents that they can do anything that they want to do, and they really believe that. At the same time, they're risk averse. There have been a lot of bad things that have happened in their lifetime, whether it's the school massacres or climate change. Consequently, they realize that everything they do has consequences. This is a change in the way we need to think about this generation. This generation is also very entrepreneurial, and they're extremely collaborative. They believe that the community can fix anything. They believe that people pull together, they can make a better world. And they're willing to share everything as well. I talk about this generation moving from self to selfies, with the idea being that they have no pretense of privacy any longer, knowing that everything that they put up on the internet is available to everybody. And by the way, this makes them very right to contextual marketing, which I think will be an important new type of marketing that we'll see in the future, where we're literally turning over our private information to a brand or retailer, and they're marketing back products to us directly in real time. This generation is beyond tech savvy. They really are tech reliant. They cannot live without their smartphones. And they also think that knowledge is just a click away. They believe all objects should have behaviors and prefer pictures over text. It's a very, very visual generation. And finally, they're seeking relationships, as the millennials did, with brands that share their values. So it's really important that, again, brands assess what their corporate values are and make sure that they're very transparent about those values. They would prefer to use images over words. Finally, I would share with you that I think they're looking for products that reflect reality as opposed to some ideal of perfection. They understand that there's no such thing as a perfect body type or a perfect hair color, and the products that really need to reflect that reality.
Okay, I just want to take one key thing from this talk, that is their self-taught. So if you're still using terms like andragogy and pedagogy, brothers and sisters and my fellow colleagues, we are 5 years behind time. There's a new knowledge called heutagogy, H-E-U-T-A T-A-G-O-G-Y. So last month I was invited to deliver a one-day workshop at IUCEL, and I told them, no, this is IUCEL, this is University Pendidikan Sultan Idris. If you do not know what is heutagogy, you're behind time. Okay, it's called the study, the body of knowledge about self-determined learning, and this is our Gen Z. I've got two Gen Zs in my family, and I can see that. So we need to understand, we need to understand them for us to be relevant to them. Okay, so if we have time, please do that. Please look up a bit about heutagogy. I don't know whether I've pronounced it correctly or not. Okay, I think we still have time. I'm going to play two. I strongly believe that learning is by doing. Learning is by exploring. Learning is by, by putting the learners at the driver's seat. So I know some of you have seen this video, but for the benefit of the others.
ฉันไม่ได้เรียนหนังสือไม่รู้ว่าต้องพูดต้องสอนแบบไหนฉันรู้แค่ว่าต้องทำให้ดูให้เขาเห็นเป็นตัวอย่างพอเห็นเขาได้สังเกตได้ลองทำเองวันนี้ฉันสบายใจแล้วที่เห็นเขาทำได้แบบนี้และมั่นใจว่าวันข้างหน้าถ้าไม่มีฉันเขาจะยืนได้ด้วยตัวเขาเอง
I think Professor Larson earlier showed the video of the birds. So instead of, feeding the birds, you teach them how to fly. You give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach him how to fish, he eats for the rest of his lifetime. So I think this is important. When we design e-learning, I think many of us see e-learning as putting content. I don't think e-learning is about content. E-learning is about providing the experience, putting the learners at the driver's seat. And now that you've got a new environment, with e-learning you can do so many things actually. The sky is the limit. In a class you've got 40 students. I always tell people that, study what technology can do for you and capitalize on things that you're not able to do well face-to-face. I've got 40 students. Can I ask a question and get feedback from 40 in the face-to-face lecture? I don't have time for that. But can I do that in an e-learning environment? Can I get everybody to think? Can I get everybody to contribute? Yeah. I can do it synchronously or asynchronously. Just now I interacted with 116 students. So that's how I capitalized on the technology. I was able to engage 116 participants in a matter of 5 minutes. So that's how you capitalize on the technology. You provide the learning experience, not the content. So I think this is important. I've got another video on, but I don't think, I just remembered that I should spare some time for Q&A again. So this is another great video. It's called We Can Try. You can just Google, We Can Try, but I'm not going to play this because I don't think we have time. So what I'm going to do for maybe the next 10 minutes before the Q&A session is to share my thoughts on, about redesigning e-learning. First, e-learning is not just about creating content. If you think e-learning is about creating content, you're 5 years behind time. It's about providing a meaningful experience and capitalizing on the technology to do that. And not everything should be done online. You can get them to do stuff out in the real world, but bring the discussion in the online. That's still e-learning. E-learning is not, everybody is just in front of the computer and doing things. So these are some of my thoughts. I think we should be moving towards task-based learning. I do that. Whether you're doing MOOC, whether you're doing blended, whether you're flipping the classroom, I believe in task-based learning. To give them tasks, so that, the idea is by completing the task, learning should have happened. Not, just giving content and asking. To me, it's very obvious. You give them the what, and you say, what is what? I mean, they're going to say what? I mean, that's very obvious, again. We should go into, so what? I'm not going to ask you about what, so what? So what can you tell me about the what that you know about the thermodynamics? And then go into, now what? And then go into, then what? So go into this kabat, or the higher order thinking skills. There's something, are you familiar with this action learning? I think in the field of business and economics, they are familiar with this. Action learning. Learning by doing, and doing with the hope of learning. Oops. Challenge-based learning. Try this. You see, every first session of every semester, I get the chance to teach students from STPM. So this will be their first. In fact, we met two weeks ago, the first class. So I like to challenge them. I think we have this stereotype that our students, they come from this system, so they are semua manja. You just need to challenge them, and you will see, what they can do. Try this. Next year, if you see me, share me your thoughts and your results about this. It's called challenge-based learning. Give them, tasks in the form of, small challenges. Of course, in a bigger picture, we call this, problem-based learning. Okay. Now, this is another area that I think we can explore. Our Gen Z, they're very efficient in creating content. They know how to create their own videos. So I think we should do less of teacher-generated content. I think we should go into user-generated content. Then the students now will feel very, very motivated. You may be asking, user-generated content? Yeah, I do that. I don't teach. Serious, I don't teach. I give them tasks. Yeah. Nowadays lah, mungkin masa Azai tu mungkin kurang sikit lah, kan. She was my students. She audited my class. But we had already that, user-generated content. So you give them tasks. You get them to create content. So learning now become very, very real, Students are now able to create content, presentation, knowledge, Remember, Blossom also allows students to create videos, kan? Go for that. Go for user-generated content. So learning now become more, and the students will feel, now I want to come to class lah, because it's about our content, bukan, his content or her content that she has been recycling for the past 15 years, kan? So explore that, and there are many tools. In fact, I've written a book, just published, I think maybe 2 months ago, content creation tool, content curation tool. Get them to create content, curate. This is another that you can try. So instead of telling your students, submit your assignments, get them to publish the assignments. Get them to publish the work. So now they see a real audience, a purpose, a community that they want, they want to share their creativity and otherwise. How am I on time? Okay, I think a few more minutes. You don't have to create content. Let's reuse, repurpose, remix, redistribute content. I do that a lot. I did that just now. I mean, instead of spending 5 minutes talking to you, I reuse 2 videos. So that's repurposing content. There's some good videos. I thought, wow, this will probably deliver the message in a more subtle way than if I talk for 5 minutes. Let me play 5 minutes video. So you're repurposing content. In fact, the MOOC on Rethinking Teaching, Redesigning Learning that is now available, 99% of the course is I'm just creating and then repurposing other people's content. I'm not cheating. I think I'm just being smart. So instead of creating, sitting in front. I mean, I'm not saying that we should not be doing that. I'm not saying that we should not be doing that. But I find that when you create content into a story, it creates a sense of surprise. What's next? Apa? Imagine if I have got like 25 minutes video of myself. One day your students going to be bored, kan? Alah, again Dr. Yati, again Prof Amin, kan? Tapi kalau this video ni siapa ni? Oh, this professor Sugata, this fellow. So you create that sense of excitement and motivation. Plus, let's teachers helping teachers, let's work together and collaborate. Our curriculum is called the Just in Case curriculum. Do you know that? That our program, the curriculum that we provide is called Just in Case. So we give as much knowledge to our students in case they need it. So that's why we give them 120 credits. I think we are, and in the end, by the time they graduate, I mean, I remember when I graduated, maybe 70% of what that I have learned was not relevant anymore. So the way to go is to go into the just in time, just enough, and just for me. Just in time, just enough, I think if I may borrow Prof Karim's term, nugget size learning. He's got a blog on that. Nugget size, When you're hungry, you eat one nugget, and then you want one more. Okay, in the literature, they use the term bite size. So when you create e-learning, you need to give them bits and pieces. So that's why if you create videos, your video should not be more than 3 minutes. If you think that 10 minutes is okay, 10 minutes is now not okay anymore. I mean, I get comments from my I call them MOOCers lah. They come to my MOOC, the MOOCers. They say, Prof, some of the videos are rather long. And then when my videos are mainly besides I think the one by Eric Mezzo, yang panjang tu, but I warn them lah, this is a long video. All my videos are below 10 minutes. But even then, people are saying that 10 minutes is too long. So a good video is a 3 minutes video. So people ask me, Prof, I used to teach for 1 hour. How can I deliver something in 3 minutes? I say, yes. If you believe teaching by spoon feeding, you need 1 hour to spoon feed. But if you just want to excite them, if you want to motivate them, a 1-2 minutes video will be fine. So this is important, I think, and we heard just now that our Gen Z are becoming very visual. So infographics is the way to go. And we should, I strongly believe, and I use that a lot, it's telling me to stop probably. I got 3 more slides I think to go.
Maybe 2 minutes more, Prof.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, this is my second last slide, so I'm okay. If you want to create videos, I think nowadays there's a lot. They're using what they call the explainer video scribing, whiteboard animation. So many of them. I'm writing a book, inshallah, on Web 2.0 explainer tool. Okay, one last. I think this will be my last slide. I think when people create e-learning programs or content, they always go for assessment of learning. I think one teacher just now asked Professor Lassen about this concept of assessment. Okay, I think there are other forms of assessment that we should also be capitalizing on. Assessment for learning and assessment of learning. Many of us are familiar with the term assessment for learning, summative and formative. But many of us are not familiar with assessment of learning. Assessment of learning is actually self-assessment to get the students to see where they are. So I think with that, yeah, I end my presentation and I'm open for Q&A.